Hey guys, my name is Daisy Vargas and I'll be discussing policy approaches to reduce obesity. So a little bit of background on obesity. Obesity is a disease in which one has an excess amount of fat tissue. The most common method used to determine obesity is by using the body mass index, or also known as BMI. BMI is calculated by dividing one's body weight by one's height, and if one's BMI is 30 and over, then they are considered to be obese. So although obesity rates in both children and adults have leveled off in recent years, obesity in the U.S. is still of great concern. So the framework of the obesity policy that I researched focused on three main public health approaches to obesity prevention. The upstream approach focused on two parts: the economic conditions and social conditions. The midstream approach focused on influencing population behaviors, and the downstream approach focused on supporting health services and clinical interventions. The study guides all levels of government to identify areas for obesity policy action. Alright, so the study methods are the socio-ecological approach, the behavioral approach, and health services approach. The socio-ecological or upstream approach targets food environments, physical activity environments, and socio-economic environments, which include taxation, employment, education, housing, and welfare. So to the right, the table shows examples of policy areas that influence food environments in local, state, and national governments, as well as international and organizational. And the sectors that they focused on were primary production, food processing, distribution, marketing, retail, and catering food service. And this table shows examples of policy areas that influence physical activity environments. And the sectors that they focused on were infrastructure and planning, education, employment, transport, and sport and recreation. The behavioral or midstream approach targets population or subpopulation behavior change and physical activity behaviors in hope to improve healthy eating. This table shows examples of policy areas that directly influence behaviors. The sectors that they focused on were early child care settings, education settings such as elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, and universities. They also focused on workplaces, community and recreational facilities, household, and other settings such as hospitals, prisons, and the military. The health services or downstream approach focuses on managing and reducing existing weight problems in individuals and working with families to prevent overweight or obese children from becoming overweight or obese adults. The table shows examples of policy areas that support health services and clinical interventions. And the health sectors that they focused on were primary care, secondary care, tertiary care, and therapeutic goods. The results that the upstream approach found were improvements in prosperity, social equity, and environmental sustainability. The midstream approach improved population eating and physical eating behavior patterns and the prevalence of obesity. And the downstream approach improved disease risk for individuals. These three obesity policy approaches are valuable guides to use as part of the process of developing, implementing, monitoring, and evaluating obesity prevention policy at all levels of government, such as local, state, and national. They could also be used as a communication aid to focus on areas where governments have active policies or where governments are not acting to prevent obesity. Thank you, guys.